Welcome to the Quarterback's Room. We are glad you are here with us today. Just a reminder, the Quarterback's Room is brought to you by Florida Football Prep. That's Florida Football Prep. For all your football needs, be it for top-notch training through the Jake Medlock Passing Academy or the CDR Elite Speed and Agility Training, or for gear customized for your team, or if you want the best prepared footballs around to give you that competitive edge. Whether you're an individual or a team, reach out, let us know. Go to www.floridafootballprep.com. I say again, www.floridafootballprep.com. Okay, so Miles, we've had an interesting couple days. Had the division playoffs the other day or last week. And what did you think? How did those go?
I thought the Commanders were going to win, but they got blown out.
Yeah, that one was kind of a rough one. I did too, but it's just, I mean, when you look at it, the Eagles just were a superior team on that field. I think they're clicking and everything's working for them at the same time, and it's kind of gives them a competitive edge. So this weekend is the Super Bowl, and I don't know. What do you think? What is your pick for the Super Bowl, and what are your thoughts about it?
I think Kansas City's going to win, but I want the Eagles to win.
Well, why do you think Kansas City's going to win?
Because they always win.
Well, that's not a really good option. You know, I look at it, this is a rematch from a couple years ago. All right. So Philadelphia and the Kansas City played not last Super Bowl, but two ago. And Kansas City pulled it out towards the end of the game to win the game. I think the Eagles are gonna pull this out. And you know why I say that?
Why?
Because they got Barkley now. So I think Barkley gives them an edge that they wouldn't normally have. They didn't have last time they met. I think Barkley can go in there and just run that ball. He's the best running back in the NFL right now, I think, without a doubt. That guy can run the football. He'll move it when they need to move it. And then when you're thinking about, as a quarterback, what is the most important thing you're thinking every time you're on offense?
The next play.
The next play, but what are you trying to do? You're trying to score a touchdown, or you're trying to
move the chains.
Move the chains. And do you think Barkley gives the Eagles the best chance at moving that chain?
Yeah.
Because when he's running that football, I don't think that even if he only gains 4 or 5 yards, that's 4 or 5 yards, 4 or 5 yards, 4 or 5 yards, and a cloud of dust. He'll just keep moving that football. And you throw in where I think Hurts is playing the best he's played in a couple of years right now. I think the Eagles can pull this one out. Now, I've been wrong before. I was hoping for Notre Dame to win the national championship in football, but it just didn't materialize. So I'm going to say the Eagles are going to pull it out. I think that you're saying it's going to be the Chiefs. Even though you want the Eagles to win, you think the Chiefs are going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when I look at it, if I had to pick a quarterback that was sitting there and the game had like 2 minutes left and we were down by 2 points or 3 points, I wouldn't want that ball at anybody's hands of the standing quarterbacks right now, other than probably Patrick Mahomes. It's not that he has the best stats or anything. He's just got that will to win. Some people would argue that he also has the refs in his pocket, but I remember I saw a thing not too long ago where the referees came out and said, you literally think there is some kind of conspiracy where all these different officials across all the different officiating teams, all of them, it's a big conspiracy to let Kansas City win. And it's kind of far-fetched. What do you think about that?
I mean, I kind of think they're like, so there's always bad calls for like the other team.
Yeah, but I mean, we were at a basketball game last night, and there were bad calls there too. Do you think it's a conspiracy?
Kinda, yeah. That was blatant.
Yeah, there was some blatant blatantly bad calls. But I just don't think that is that's a realistic thing. We will see if there's some blatantly horrible calls that favor Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Maybe not. We'll see. But the same people that get mad about the fake calls also are the ones that are always yelling about them showing Taylor Swift. So I don't know. I don't care about Taylor Swift. Don't care. Don't know her. Don't really care about her music. But hey, it is what it is. But so what do you think the score's going to be?
37-32.
For the Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see how that goes. All right. So the next thing we kind of wanted to talk about a little bit is you've been putting some thought into the potential draft. Now that the college football season's over, you've put together your entire first round draft pick, but we just want to look at the first few, and I want to kind of get your feel for what's going to happen with that. So as we look at the list, I think Tennessee gets the first pick, and there's a lot of people thinking they're going to pull a quarterback, but you're sitting there, you're thinking they're going with who?
Travis Hunter.
Why Travis Hunter?
He's just really good. And they're not a good team, so they need like depth at every position.
Yeah, and I think that one of the I think that this is probably the worst draft class I've seen for quarterbacks coming out in a long time. I mean, there's nobody that really stands out to me and says, this guy is going to be a franchise quarterback year one. I just don't see it. There's nobody that wowed me. There's no wow factor with any of these quarterbacks that you sit there and go, this guy's going to walk in day one and start in the NFL. I just don't see it. So I don't blame you. I think Travis Hunter's a solid pick. The guy is a solid ball player. I think that he won the Heisman Trophy, not because he was the best wide receiver in the country, or not that because he was the best defensive back in the country, but because he was the best football player in the country. And I think that's absolutely true. So who do you have for number 2 going to Cleveland?
Abdul Carter.
Why?
The Browns just lost. They're most likely going to lose Myles Garrett, so because he requested a trade.
So they need some defensive line help.
Yeah.
And okay. And you have the Giants taking
Genty, but that's probably not going to happen. That was a pretty dumb pick.
Although it's the Giants, so that may actually happen if they're going to have a pretty dumb pick. But we're talking about the same team that just traded Barkley to the Eagles. So that was a pretty dumb move too. So I would not put that past the Giants. Then we'll go and we look at who's next. Who is that?
Emeka Egbuka. I don't really know how to say his last name. It's the receiver from Ohio State.
Going where?
I think it's the Jets.
Ah, okay.
No. That's the
You wrote it.
I
can't read your handwriting.
That's the Patriots.
All right. So you have them going to the New England Patriots, not the New York Patriots, by the way. The New England Patriots. All right.
All right. Yeah.
And then number 5, you have
Mikael Williams.
And you have him going to the Jags.
Yeah.
And he's the defensive end out of Georgia.
Yep.
All right. You don't have the first quarterback you have going is at number 6, and that's
Cam Ward
going to
Las Vegas.
All right. So I would agree. I think of this class, the most NFL ready quarterback is probably Cam Ward. And we'll see what comes out in the combine. But I think Cam Ward is the most just all around solid. He's got his issues, but I'll be honest, Miami without him this year wouldn't have won the amount of games they won. He actually, and of course, I thought the refereeing for the ACC was pretty blatantly bad too. But without Cam Ward, they not much. So number 7.
Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame.
And you have them going, that's the Jets, right?
Yeah.
The New York Jets, who used to be my favorite team at one point, by the way. Because I used to always pick my NFL teams, and I didn't have like one set team, but if there was a player from my team in college or somebody I personally knew that played for them, that became my team. I happened to be friends with a guy that was drafted in the first round for the New York Jets some time ago, so the Jets were kind of my team, and but not really anymore. All right, so then we go to pick number 8, which is
I can't really say the first name, but I think it's Teddarella McMillan out of Arizona.
okay, and he is a wide receiver. He's out of that entire team, he was pretty much the best player on that team, and Arizona had a pretty rough ride this year. But anyway, after that, we'll go to number 9.
Mason Graham, the Michigan D lineman.
Okay, not a bad pick, and that's going to New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
All right, and number 10.
James Pierce Jr., Tennessee defensive end, going to Chicago.
All right, Chicago could use some help, and they got a new coach coming in, and there's going to be some turnover there, I'm sure. And that's I think that's a pretty solid top 10 list. And I wouldn't disagree with you that the number 3 pick with Genty going to the Giants maybe not fill their need, because honestly they really need a quarterback as well. But the we'll see how that floats out, because it's the Giants and they just make bad picks. All right, so let's move on just a little bit. First, a reminder that the Quarterback's Room is brought to you by Florida Football Prep for all your football needs. This summer's coming up, and there's going to be plenty of time to practice. People are going to be getting ready for the fall with Pop Warner, AAU ball, a lot of youth football options. If you have a team and you want to get some kind of customized gear for that team, fan gear, reach out to us. We do everything at competitive prices, quick turnaround. You tell us what you want, we'll make it and have it out there for you. We'll set up a special page just for your team. So reach out, let us know. Also, we're going to have probably some camps this summer that'll focus on quarterback training, wide receiver training. So hit us up, follow us, and we'll see what we can do for you. Oh, have your youth player sign up for Team FFP, Florida Football Prep. You can get some really cool swag, some really cool gear. It's free. So sign up. Go to www.floridafootballprep.com. And also, while you're doing it, go to iTunes, go to Spotify, go to YouTube, like, subscribe, give us those 5-star reviews. We really appreciate it. It helps Miles with his homework. But with that being said, so Miles, you've been playing now. This is going into your second week of flag and your third week of 7-on-7, although we didn't have a 7-on-7 tournament last week. So you've played a total of 3 games.
Yeah.
How's it going?
12 touchdowns, 1 interception. That'll say it all.
Yeah, but how many wins and how many losses?
2 wins, 1 loss.
Yeah, so
the 1 loss was to the champion of the 7-on-7 league.
And you're playing, your team is on 7-on-7 is
11U.
And you're playing as
CDR Elite.
No, but you're playing 12U.
All right.
Your entire team is 11-year-olds, and you're playing against all 12-year-olds. So you're literally playing up. So that first game was the first game your team had, and you guys were kind of getting into sync. You threw 1 touchdown, and I'll take the blame for the interception because, frankly, I called that play. And it was tied up going into the end of the game, and it just happens. But that second game, you got it all in sync, and you threw 5 touchdowns against the 12U team, and you guys kind of decimated them. Now, how's the flag going?
It's good. I like 7-on-7 better, but
But now, let's be honest. You threw 6 touchdowns in the first flag game.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty dominant performance, especially when you consider that we had 8 players on the team and 4 of them really have never played football before.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids are all putting in a lot of work, and they're all putting in the effort. They're learning, and they're doing a lot better. And I think, and we have a game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time this gets out, the game will probably be over. But we're playing the Christian Academy.
Yeah, I think so.
So that should be an interesting game, and we'll see how that works out. So I have been coaching youth football for about 4 years now, and there's a few things that I've learned, and I wanted to share with you 5 quick tips that could help you as you're starting out on your youth coaching journey. First one, communication is key. All right. I've gone at lengths to keep my families and my parents informed, because the more you keep them informed, the more they're going to be engaged. You'll get them to come to practices. They'll watch the kids. And quite frankly, if the parents are engaged, they'll get the kids there. So use tools like GroupMe, do email chains, do text message chains. It will help. Just get those parents involved, because, the more they're involved, they're going to like the game as well. And actually, it will help build that bond between the parents, the child, and the team. So I strongly recommend being good with communication with the parents. I've been around, and not a lot of coaches do that. They're not very good at it. I have my youngest son plays flag as well. That coach hasn't sent out a single email or text message or anything. So we never really know what's going on with them. I mean, I kind of do because I'm involved in the coaching tree as well. But focus on communication with the families. Second, fundamentals. Focus on teaching the kids the fundamentals of football, okay? You're being able to start to teach them when they're first learning the game. So these fundamentals you teach now will have an impact on them throughout their playing career. So not only focus on the standard, throwing, catching, running. Those are all basics that kids will pick up relatively quickly. But teach the routes, the handoffs, all those different things. If you're playing tackle football, all right, teach them the fundamentals of how to tackle. All right, teach them how to block. I can't tell you how many times when we were playing tackle football, people that played on the offensive line had never been taught how to block, the difference between run blocking, pass blocking, the different things you have to do. So those are fundamentals, especially on defense. Tackling is, you can't touch that enough. No arm tackles, all body and getting in front of the player. But anyway, so teach them fundamentals. Next one, kids are smart. Don't underestimate them. All right. This generation has grown up playing Madden, grown up playing college football 25. They even have other kinds of video games. My kids play Roblox football, which is different. They play football on Fortnite. There's all kinds of different things that they're using, and they learn the game. So me personally, I use like Madden and college football 25 to do lessons with Miles. So I kind of will look at the plays that I'm setting up. If I'm on defense and he's on offense, I'll say, Miles, what does that defense look like? You're looking at it in the field. What pass will be open on that type of defense? Okay, if it's a cover 3, you got seams, and he'll know these things. So use it as a teaching experience. But above all else, these kids can understand complex plays. All right, they're using them now in these games. So I ran as a coach with second and third graders. I ran some complex passing routes. I'd run all kinds of strategic plays, and the kids would understand them. Not only did they understand them, but they learned them. And we ran a tempo offense where it would be like down, set, go, and we were running tempo, and we'd have our opponents on the heels. So kids can understand this stuff. Don't treat them like they can't. Don't just run the ball up the middle. Don't just have one passing play. Don't just let them go out there and play street ball if you're playing flag. Run plays. It'll be the difference between having a winning program and actually teaching the kids something, or just going out and wasting their time. Maybe they'll have some fun, but they're not learning anything. And that kind of goes into the next one. And this is the one that I always look at as probably the most important, because we've had some bad experiences with this in the past, which is one of the reasons I got into coaching. Coaching is teaching. Okay? You have young kids out there. Coaching is teaching. Yelling is not coaching. It is just yelling. Okay? You're dealing with kids that are anywhere from, I don't know, I think they start as young as 6 now, 6 through high school. But as you get older, you can do a little bit different. But you want them to love the game. Yelling at kids, they shut down, they won't listen to you, and they won't come back next week. All right? So the only time I yell at a kid or yell at anybody is if there's a risk of somebody getting hurt or injured, or basically it's a safety issue, or it's for motivation. And I say motivation, I'm not yelling in anger, I'm yelling to motivate. There's a little bit different, and the kids know the difference. So I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about as well. Just yelling for yelling's sake is never the answer. We played for a team where the coaches were running around screaming to the point where my wife literally said, no, Miles is not playing on this team. So again, yelling is not coaching. It's just yelling. Coaching is teaching. Be a teacher. You will set the standard for that kid for years to come. Make him love the game. And last but not least, the most important one, where all the other ones kind of feed into it. Make football fun. Make it fun for them. Make them want to come back. And like I was saying before, you sit there at the end of practice, you can do little things like having the scrimmages, having competitions, making it exciting for them, where they all cheer each other on or they race against each other. I always finish practice with a race. I want to see who my fastest kid is. So I will run an iteration of 3 races to see who's the fastest. And the kids love it because it's a competition for them. But it also kind of helps you as a coach to figure out who your fastest kids are. But remember, what you are doing is you are trying to build a love of the game that will last these kids a lifetime and help them learn those life lessons that come with playing a team sport, especially football. So I hope this helps a little bit, and do your own thing. But at the same time, these are just my 5 quick tips on how to be a better youth coach. Well, we hope you like those tips and they could come in use. Again, take them or leave them, but that's just kind of the way I look at it with coaching. Those are kind of my top 5 tips when you're moving forward and you're becoming a youth coach. Remember, it's about the kids, it's about developing players and developing a love of the game. So with that being said, make sure you go out there, you like, subscribe, go on Apple iTunes, give us those 5-star reviews. Have iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. And until next time, when you join us back in the quarterback's room.